What if I told you that thousands of years before neuroscience existed, yoga philosophy had already described many of the factors that modern pain science now recognizes as contributors to chronic pain? Today, we're going to talk about yoga meets modern pain science. What ancient wisdom knew before the neuroscience did. So, we're going to talk about it. We're going to understand chronic pain through the body, brain, mind and beyond. Welcome to Ask Giri, the Physio Show, Season 6, Episode 10. Have you ever wondered why your MRI looks normal but your pain is still very real? Or why some people recover quickly from an injury while others continue to suffer months or even years and later? For decades, healthcare viewed pain as primarily as a tissue problem. If something hurt, something must be damaged. But over the last 20 years, neuroscience has taught us something revolutionary. Pain is not simply a signal coming from the injured tissues. Pain is an experience created by the nervous system after evaluating information from the body, the brain, our emotions, memories, beliefs, environment, relationship, and even our sense of purpose. In other words, pain is biopsychosocial. And surprisingly, many of these concepts have existed within yoga philosophy for thousands of years. Let me share a story. A patient came into our clinic after suffering from low back pain for nearly 6 years. She had seen multiple specialists. Her scans showed age-related changes, but nothing alarming. She had tried medications, injections, massage, various exercise programs, but her pain persisted. What became clear was that her pain was not only about her back. She wasn't sleeping very well. She was constantly stressed. She had stopped socializing. She feared movement. She had lost confidence in her body. She felt disconnected from the activities she loved. When we approached her recovery using modern pain education, movement therapy, breathing strategies, mindfulness, and yoga-based principles, everything began to change. Not overnight, but steadily. Within months, she was walking longer distances, sleeping better, returning to hobbies, and most importantly, regaining trust in herself. That's the power of addressing the whole person, not just the painful body part. So, let's get into a little bit of a yoga stuff. The Five Koshas, yoga's holistic model of human experience. You can see the picture of the Five Koshas here, then we'll talk about it. One of the most fascinating concepts in the yoga philosophy is the idea of the Five Koshas. Think of these as 5 interconnected layers of human experience. Number 1 of that is physical body, which means your muscles, joints, nerves, movement, strength and flexibility. This is where most traditional treatments focus. But the second kosha is the energetic body. That's our vitality, our breathing, our sense of energy and fatigue. Modern science now recognizes how breathing patterns directly influence the nervous system and pain processing. The third kosha is your lower mind. That's your automatic functions, habits, stress responses, the body's autopilot system. The fourth kosha is your higher mind. That's your self-awareness, your reflection, decision making, the ability to notice our thoughts and emotions. That means thinking about your thinking. And the fifth kosha is your bliss or the connection layer. Connection to family, connection to community, connection to nature, purpose, meaning. Research consistently shows that social connection and purpose influence health outcomes, influence resilience and recovery. When chronic pain affects one layer, it often affects them all. So that's about 5 koshas. Now we're going to talk about 5 klishas. What yoga calls the klishas. That's nothing but 5 common sources of suffering. They are called the klishas. And when I explain these to patients, many immediately recognize themselves. So the number 1 klisha is ignorance. Believing pain automatically equals damage. Modern pain science shows that pain and tissue injury are not always directly related. The second klisha is attachment. Holding tightly to the expectation that life should be completely pain-free. Number 3 klisha is aversion. Constantly fighting pain. Trying to escape every sensation. Ironically, this often amplifies suffering. Number 4 is ego. Believing that needing help means weakness. Or thinking, I should be able to push through this. The guys are really bad in this one. They wait until the pain is way too much and they can't move, then they take help. Ladies, you are better in this one. Next cliche is fear. Perhaps the biggest one. Fear of movement, fear of worsening injury, fear of losing independence, fear of the future. Talking about fear, I'm treating one complex regional pain syndrome client. He comes all the way from Red Deer in a taxi with severe pain and swelling. He hasn't touched this hand on anything for 2 years. And yesterday I saw him. His new fear is he thinks his bone is all swelling and he thinks he has cancer. See how the mind works when you have a problem for a long time? Your brain creates this very crazy fears, and those fears control everything. This is an example. So, modern pain neuroscience identifies fear as one of the strongest drivers of persistent pain. Thousands of years apart, yet yoga philosophy and neuroscience arrive at remarkably similar conclusions. So, what the research tells us? Let's talk science. Several systematic reviews and meta-analysis have examined yoga for chronic pain. The evidence suggests that participating in yoga programs for approximately 8 to 12 weeks can produce meaningful improvements in pain levels, physical functions, mental health, medication use, work participation, and quality of life. One landmark study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine by Saper and colleagues found that yoga was as effective as physical therapy for many individuals with chronic low back pain. That doesn't mean yoga replaces physiotherapy. Rather, it highlights how movement, awareness, breathing, and nervous system regulation can be powerful therapeutic tools. Research also shows benefits for anxiety, stress reduction, sleep quality, depression, self-efficacy, and mindfulness, and also emotional resilience. These factors are now recognized as key contributors to chronic pain recovery. Now, let's talk about the neuroscience connection. This is where things get exciting. Recent neuroscience studies shows that mindfulness and meditation practices can produce measurable changes in brain function. Research suggests improvements in attention networks, emotional regulation, interoception, that's a job of your limbic system, stress processing, and pain perception. Interoception simply means our ability to sense what's happening inside our body. That's very important. And a lot of neurological conditions happens, especially FND, when the interoceptions get altered. People with persistent pain often lose confidence in these internal signals. Yoga, breathing practices, and mindful movement may help restore this awareness. When talking about mindful movement, I also one small recommendation or a tip for you when you work out in the house or the gym. Don't blast music in your ears and focusing on that when you're moving. Pay attention to your movement. Pay attention to how your body moves. Be aware of your body movements. That's really helpful in rewiring process rather than blasting music and focusing on that. And also it's not good for your hearing neurons as well. So the result of this neuroscience, the less fear, better movement confidence, improved self-management, and often reduced suffering. So, how chronic pain changes people? At Insta Physiotherapy and affiliated clinics, we see these patterns every day. People with persistent pain commonly experience altered breathing patterns, so much muscle tension in different parts of the body, muscle inhibition, and they don't activate the muscles, very low energy, very much fatigued, very poor sleep, difficulty concentrating, stress overload, anxiety, depression, relationship challenges, loss of purpose, loss of confidence. Pain becomes more than a symptom. It becomes a life experience. That's why effective rehabilitation must address more than tissues alone. So what it means for you? If you are living with chronic pain, here's what I want you to remember. You are more than your MRI. You are more than your diagnosis. Last 2 weeks, I had a couple of patients coming in 3 pages of their medical diagnosis, what they got in the last 15 to 20 years, nicely written and typed for me to make my job easier. Imagine all those diagnoses given to you for the last 10-15 years and how it's in your brain and how each one of them affecting your recovery. My suggestion when they come to me is always starting from that day looking forward. We try to control, alt, delete what people have given in the last 15 years. You must be surprised how that changes the recovery. And you are certainly more than your pain. Recovery often begins when we stop asking what's wrong with me and start asking what systems in my body and life need support. When we improve breathing, when we improve movement, when we improve sleep, stress regulation, confidence, connection and understanding, the nervous system can begin to feel safer and healing becomes possible. If this Ask Giri Physio Show episode resonated with you, please like, share and subscribe to Ask Giri the Physio Show. In the description below, I also have links for you from other media channels. I have Physio News Network, I have Physio For You podcast. Please listen to them, subscribe and share because knowledge is power and I like to empower your knowledge. You never know who's in your family, workplace, or community may be silently struggling with persistent pain and chronic pain. If you're looking for evidence-based chronic pain rehabilitation, pain neuroscience education, neurorehabilitation, vestibular therapy, concussion rehabilitation, F&D rehabilitation, or movement-based recovery programs, our team is here to help. Visit any of our clinics within the Synaptic Integrated Health Group. The links of all the clinics are in the description. And at our clinics, we believe recovery is not simply about reducing pain, it's about restoring confidence, restoring movement, restoring purpose, and helping people get back to living fully. Until next time, keep moving, keep learning, keep believing in your ability to heal. And I am Giri Srinivasan, and this has been Ask Giri, the Physio Show. Bye.